Right, when you see a load of codes all together, don't be discouraged, because in this case all these codes is just one thing, and you'll find that in a lot of times one problem can cause lots of codes to come on and actually have nothing to do with any of the codes, if that makes sense. And just yeah, that's it, just put it on the floor. Hello and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. Yes, we're back on this 2008 Ford Fusion that has an intake leak. We've done another video on diagnosing it. It went to a few other garages and they couldn't figure it out, which again kind of boggles the mind. But anyway, we did it with very simple tools, very simple tests, and we got to the end of it. So now what I got to do is actually fix it. So let's get cracking. Sorted. Right, let's do this. Now, I have never taken one of these off before, and it does look, well, I've got to take obviously all the turbo intake side off, but all this here seems to be one unit, and I don't know how much of this case I have to strip them. This might be really awkward. I don't actually know yet. Time will tell. So we've got an 8mm. Take off turbo, intake pipe, not the turbo. This is all disconnected. P27 torque. I need to get one of these pipes off. There we go. This can now twist up and off. Very important you twist that. You can see this stud stays in, so to put it back on you have to put it in and twist down, and there's only one locking nut then essentially for it. Now we can see a lot more now. This is the rocker cover here, but it's all one unit, the rocker cover. But if it was just cut off here it would be very simple, but it's not. This, I believe, is all one unit. Now, is it just them few bolts there? I honestly don't know yet. But what I do need to do is take out all these 8mm bolts along here, along there. There's going to be some bigger bolts down there, which I'll get to in a second. Hopefully that's it, and it's not. Yeah. Minute, I just don't know. Let's return for the injectors. That's gonna have to come off. Maybe take that off first. Looks like torques as well. P27 torque. How's that look? O-ring looks good. Is it out of the way enough? Hopefully that is out of the way enough. Surprising there's no bolts there. Right. I'll take all these 8mm off now. Yeah, this looks like it's all part of the cover, so I'm going to have to go a lot further down than what I was hoping. I'm just going to turn the camera off, see exactly what I need to do, and then we'll continue. Right, I really can't see very well. I've taken out the water bottle just to give me a little bit more room to see if I had to take the cover off for the belt. There's 2 more bolts behind here which hold this down. They're 10mm, and let's see once I take out them. I don't think it's just going to be that easy though. I think I'm going to have issues down here near the high pressure pump, near all this. I just think it's going to be an awkward job. 2 10mm around here. I'm not going to be able to show you. I have to kind of feel them myself, but there could be more bolts, but nothing that I can see obvious. And of course, that's in the way of this one. Can you get it that way? Where is it? Oh, has it been rounded? Is that why it won't go up? Or is it the wrong bolt? Surely not. Oh, where's that gone? Yeah, it's an 8mm, and the other one's a 10mm. Now, does that mean this has been off before? I can't see it being like that from factory. Maybe it is, I don't know. That's still absolutely solid. I can't see that's... Oh, hold on. We have one down there. Ah, for fuck's sake. Still solid. I don't think this is part of it. I think that's separate. Oh no. We're moving a bit now. Alright, this is why you definitely need gloves with this job. Just let me see what else I can see. We're moving, but it's still solid, so obviously I'm missing screws or bolts, nuts, whatever, somewhere. and let me see if I can find them. Right, this is, I don't think everything, but I found another one here. It's a T20. This will hopefully separate the filter housing from this, because I think it does kind of get in the way. Well, it certainly bolts down to the places on top of the inlet, so however you look about it, either needs to come off with it or it needs to be removed from it. And I want to remove it from it rather than it coming off with it. Now, yeah, that's out of my way now, which is a good thing. Need to remove all the clips for the injectors, which these are broken. 2 of them are broken, 2 of them aren't. Okay. Again, not worried about that at the minute. All these pipes are in the way, but it is loose. Now, the four ports where it's stuck down the engine, they are tight, but and you do have to lever them on any other car I've done anyway, and I'm sure this is the same. But I'm still convinced I'm missing something here. I haven't really taken anything from like the back of this, so there must be something holding it down, and I don't just want to pull this up because I'm going to break something and then I'm in serious trouble. So let me just have a quick look around to see what's kind of around here, and then hopefully, I'm hoping the cover and everything's going to all come up as one. I don't have to separate them. That's what I'm hoping. Right, I was right. There's definitely something here stopping it. This is all loose. You can see I'm moving it. It's all completely loose. It's looking like the cover here onto the high pressure pump, which again, I'm not going to be able to show you because everything's in the way. I can barely see it myself. But it's looking like the cover. So I'm going to take this cover off, and hopefully there's just maybe 1 bolt onto the high pressure pump, let's say, that's stopping this from coming up. So once I've taken this cover off, hopefully it will come off, because I can't see anything else. But I can definitely feel that the trap is this area here. So let me whip this cover off. It's going to be a few 8mm from the looks of it. Can't see them all. Hopefully it's simple enough. Hope I don't have to completely disconnect the expansion bottle. If I do, I do, but hopefully I don't. It would be easy if it was out of the way, but then it's a case of bleeding it and all that crap, which if I have to do, I will. But let me take this cover off and we'll see. Right, I was correct. Now actually, when I looked at the timing belt cover first, this part here goes a lot further down, and I thought it was all one, and there's a bolt here and a bolt there, actually a screw because it screws into something, but anyway, that's by the by, that's for another video. But it looked like it was just this one here connecting to the bottom cover, which was stopping this from going off, I think, because it is now, as you can see, loose, but there's still a lot of stuff that appears to be in the way, or is there? It was looking like, I must admit, it was going to be a really awkward job, but not too bad. The only thing I didn't get is I didn't get the cover for that, but that looks like that's been sealed. So someone's had this off before, which is never normally a good sign. So, like, have they already replaced these and it's more broken than just a seal? What is stopping me now? So careful, don't break these wires. Oh. The return has to come off. There we go. Now, this cover is off. See, someone sealed that down. I should have really got a new seal, but I completely and utterly forgot. I did drop that bolt. Now the dog can see the rabbit. and we can clearly see we're completely and utterly missing number 3. So we was right with our diagnosis, which is good. Look at the caked up shit that's in that. Wow. You have to wonder how that was even running. I've got 4 new seals. It's just a shame I didn't get the new one of them. But apart from that, the engine doesn't look all crappy black bits inside the oil, which is good. It's always a plus. But obviously in that intake is very, very bad. But at least we was right with our diagnosis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean all this up, and then we'll get to put it back and see if it fixes our issue. But this is now a messy part well, it's a messy part because of all the oil. With this intake, or any modern intake system, you're going to get this. When I put my hand here originally, I could feel the air coming up, and I just thought it was an injector. Even though I originally said in the beginning of the video, or beginning of the other video when I was diagnosing it, it sounds like an air intake leak, which it was. It's just when I first took that off, and there was no puffing noise, there was no like Thomas the Tank Engine, which is normally when an injector goes. That's why I wasn't thinking it was an injector. But I put my hand here, and of course I just saw the injector, and I said, oh, it's the injector. When I put my hand in behind and saw all this, it wasn't really black death, the really hard crusty black death. It was very wet, which brings me to, this doesn't really happen with an injector. Normally an injector you get that black hard crusty crap, where this is kind of watery wet almost. So yeah. Now it is going to be kind of hard to clean this, and you do have to be careful. Now the only good thing is if a little bit does fall inside the engine, and let's face it, in the natural course of things, when I reseal this and it's going to be getting full pressure, these bits are going to be going through the engine anyway. It's not going to really hurt you. You don't want too much, because it could start blocking up, DPFs and stuff like that, or catalytic converters, depending what you've got in your car. But we can get a lot of it out just by simply scraping it up, look, just like that. See that? Just being very, very careful. Getting as much out as you can by just scraping it up. Using different things. It's just going to take time. This is the hardest part of the job. This is going to take a few hours to clean all this as best I can. I'm not going to get it 100%, but I'm going to get it better. And obviously I have to clean all the surfaces here where it actually mates onto it, so we get a good seal. So I'm not going to record all this because it's just going to be boring and takes up way too much space on the camera. But that's essentially what I'm going to do. Just keep getting the screwdriver in there, getting rags, cleaning it, screwdriver rags, cleaning it, and getting as clean as I possibly can. A little bit is going to fall inside the engine. I'm not worried about it, because like I said, I know people are going to be screaming, oh, that's not what you do. But think about it, them bits eventually are going to be falling off inside the engine anyway. And now it's going to be completely sealed. There's going to be a lot more pressure there, and it's going to suck a lot more stuff in. So I'm not worried about it in that sense. It's just going to be awkward cleaning it. Right, a couple of things you can see. I've got some packing peanuts. I always keep these packing peanuts because they're just handy for putting up holes. You can squeeze them in and they kind of open up inside the cylinder, which is just handy. Especially when you're cleaning, you want to cover everything because you don't want crap to get in there. As you can see, look how clean that one is compared to, say, this one. And all I've done is, now I've cleaned around here just with some brake clean and stuff, but you do not want to put any cleaning stuff inside your engine, because all it's going to do is going to pile up and you're going to essentially just bend a rod. You're going to do some serious damage. So unless you take off an injectors or all the injectors so you can turn the engine over to let it all squirt out, then you can kind of really go into town. But as you can see, very simple, with a screwdriver and a rag, I have just managed to scrape that off. And the best thing about it is because it's really kind of sticky, it will stick to the screwdriver. You'd be amazed how much you can just get out. Again, it takes time, but you can be amazed how much it gets out, and most of it sticks onto the screwdriver and some of it will go into the engine. But like I said, it's going to do that anyway. But you can just see how clean it is. If you want to put some clean on that, the best thing to do is spray the cleaner on the rag and then twist the rag in. Do not spray it directly into there. So I'm just going to finish off the other three. and then we can actually get back into putting it all back together. Now, look how much better that looks after a few minutes. I'm just going to spend a bit more time, but you can see exactly what I'm doing. And just got one more to do. And then the hard part is actually putting it back down, because we need to make sure it all seals properly and goes down, and that's the awkward part. But there's a few bits you can do for preventive maintenance sake while you're here, especially if it's your own car. Do your heater plugs, because they're just so much easier to do now you've taken all that off. If you want, depending on the mileage of your car, you can do all your injector seals, because again, you have to take that cover off to do it. And if you keep in the car, to do these things just for preventive maintenance is no harm whatsoever, because it means you don't have to go through that. I spoke to the customer, they don't want me to do that. I think they said the heater plugs have been recently changed. That's why this was actually off. So what I think's maybe happened is whoever changed the heater plugs maybe didn't see that one and put it back wrong, or didn't put it back on properly and had issues after that. So yeah, it was only the car's been moved in the family, but it was only the granddad used to drive it every so often. He obviously maybe didn't go very fast, and maybe never really noticed that there was an issue there, because it will still drive, it's just there's no power. If you don't put your foot down, you won't really know. So that's my guess. I could be wrong, and it did go back to the garage and they said there was nothing wrong with it, but maybe they just didn't want to do anything because they know they may be messed up. I don't know. But anyway, we're now fixing it, and it's going to be good once it's all done. Right, whoever worked on this is just inexperienced in my eyes. Obviously they didn't put the seal back properly or anything, but they put a load of sealer around here. Now granted, there's a few spots where the seal is kind of flattened over, but the seal is still perfectly, it's above the actual mark itself. These seals work, they compress, they're a compression seal. They do go flat, yes. Once they go flat, you have to replace them. But this is perfectly, look, it's sticking above it absolutely perfectly. The reason why I don't like putting sealer on anything is, unless it needs sealer, if it's got a gasket, you put a gasket on. If it needs sealer, you put a sealer on. This is the reason why. Look at the big chunk of sealer that's here. Now, lucky enough, this engine's caught it. But I guarantee you, there's... That's just gone down there. Fuck it. I'll get that out with pliers, it's just there. But that's the issue. The issue is, all that sealer goes down there, and it can absolutely destroy the engine, because it can plug up oil galleries and all sorts, and the engine can't, it can't pump oil around itself properly. I've got some long pliers. Just there, can you see it? Some pliers will sort that out, and we'll be good to go. Come on, little shit. There we go. Done. Now, I'm going to clean all this up to make sure nothing else goes in. I've got everything clean there. It's just a case of cleaning up around here, making sure none of it goes into the engine. That is why I just do not like sealer, unless you need it. Unless it's a sealed, proper sealed surface. If it's a gasket, just put a gasket on it. Now, get the new seals, and we should be good to go. Alright, I got the new I got the new seals from Ford. I need to put a bit of lube on them, just to help them go in. anything really that doesn't damage rubber. You can use grease as long as you use the right type of grease that doesn't damage rubber. So anything that doesn't damage rubber you can use as a lube, essentially. Because this just will not go on. Well, it will go on without lube, but it can tendency to roll and pinch them, and then it can cut them and cause you all sorts of hassle. The other 3 seals are mostly absolutely perfect. No harm keeping them as a spare, kind of worst case scenario if you ever need something in a rush. But obviously best to replace all 4 with new ones. Now, how easy is this going to be? Be careful you don't drop them. They should kind of keep themselves in there, but there's nothing stopping me going down. Ow. It's always a nightmare to get everything lined up. Make sure nothing is stopping you, because you're just fighting against that is a nightmare. There is something that is stopping me at the minute. I don't know what that something is, because there should be nothing. Oh, hold on. Oh, there we go. That's what's stopping me. The seal, there we go. The seal for the the return for the injectors. Just putting these in, not all the way, just to kind of keep it there so I can push down on the back without it moving too much. You'll kind of feel it when it goes in. It's just going to be awkward. Right. The camera's getting in my way now, just on the side of my head, so just let me make sure I've got nothing stopping it before I go any further. But do not screw all the bolts down thinking you're going to push it down. Don't do that, because you're going to do damage, you're going to break something. Right, this next thing now is just personal preference, but I'm in the same opinion as when I do a timing belt. Put as least on as possible to start the vehicle safely. Just because the more you put on, if you have to, because sometimes you do have to take these off again, they don't seal properly. Now it looks like it has, all the bolts have gone down, the 2 bolts at the back have gone down, so it feels like it is, but we could have still pinched one, we could have broke a seal, we could have done anything. So rather than sticking it all back together and then realising you got an issue, I'm going to just do as least as possible but safely to start it. Now, be very, very careful, do not be tempted to hit this with a hammer. You can see someone's already broke these few clips. This is very weak, you just smash straight through it. You have to just put pressure on it nice and even with your hands, get the bolts in, put pressure on it, you know, get it to seal properly. Don't try and force it down because you're going to snap something, you're going to break something, you're going to be in trouble. So I've just got the EGR valve to put in, I've got a pipe here to put in, reconnect the expansion bottle, and that's basically it. I'm going to leave all the air filter system off, all that, and leave the diesel pump or the diesel filter just hanging there. Put the injectors back just as least as possible just to start it, just to make sure there's no leaks. So let me get all that on and then we'll check it. Right, so let's see. Will it start? The engine light, will that stay on and off? On or off? Starts. Engine light stays on, but I'm not worried about that. We just might need to reset the codes. I haven't got all the airbox and everything on yet. That shouldn't really make a difference, I don't think. Let's see what it drives like. Right, we might have more than one issue. I don't know, let's see. It feels better. There's massive airflow at the minute. That's just because I haven't put the airbox on. What I'm going to have to do is, I think unfortunately I'm going to have to put the airbox on, clear all the fault codes and see. But I must admit, I mean, it's not smoking like it did before, and you can see it's clearly driving. I think we're okay. We're definitely better, but I don't know if we're 100% there yet. So just let me put all the airbox back on, clear the fault codes, and then we will know for 100% sure. Now a quick check I can do is the old brake clean check. That seems good. I have to be careful it's not sucking into here and giving me a false reading. Something is happening here. I don't think we're... Yeah, we've still got an issue. Fuck it. Fuck. Number 3, still an issue. I didn't think it had the full power. Right, I've cleared the codes, I've put the airbox back on, and I've also screwed the turbo pipe in, which I didn't do properly, which might hopefully help. I've also quickly, I hit down the manifold and sprayed some stuff around, and it didn't seem to do it, so it could have just been a little bit loose. Even though all the screws are in, I don't know, but here goes. The other good thing is when I rev it up, if I rev it up now, there's no black smoke coming out of it. Hopefully it's pointed to the mirror like it was before when I was revving it. So here we go. It's better, but I can still hear something. I can still hear a leak. Fuck it. Where is that? I'm gonna have to get my smoke machine on this now. Maybe that inlet manifold is cracked. It didn't seem to be. It didn't seem to be, but that doesn't mean anything. No. I mean, it's better. It's 100% better, but we're only maybe 90% of the way there. Great. Back to the drawing board. Right, we're 95% there, but it's still making too much noise. But it all looks good. It's number 2. It's number 3. Number 4. Is that? No. It's not. Oh, is that? It's hard to see on camera, but is that the problem there? Is that the... Get it closer. Is that the... Did it go closer? Where is it? Is that it bubbled up there? Looks like it there. Maybe not. Number one, you can't quite see. Let me do the brake clean test again. Right people, it's number 4. Don't make a lie at me. There we go. Number 4. Well, it could be others, but definitely number 4 now. Right, like I said in the video, there's a chance that this is going to happen. I could have just pretended. I could have drove the car, or not even drive the car and tell you it's absolutely perfect and lied and finished the video. But that's not the way I work. You know, these things happen. It's frustrating. It's fucking annoying. I don't know how much that caught because my phone rang. But yeah, so look, it is what it is. I'm going to take all this off now. I'm not going to bore with it again. I'm going to take it off and then just try and reseal it again. Obviously, one of the seals is lifted up. You know, it is what it is. I know people are going to say, well, maybe you should have put the seal down in the hole first. Look, it swings and roundabouts. I've always found it easier to put the seals on the actual stem itself. Sometimes they have a cutout where the seals have to go and you have to put it on the stem first. Sometimes maybe it would be easier to put it in, but I've just personally always found it easier to put it on there and push it down that way. But anyway, I'm going to take all this off again and then I'm going to see what happens. Right, I got it off and you can see kind of the black around number 4. So it only appeared to be number 4 that was leaking. You can see number 4 is wet compared to the rest. So what I'm going to do is I've pushed them down there and I'm going to lube up this and lube up the inside. And we're going to try it this way. Maybe in this particular case, on this particular car, it's easier doing that way. Now, it was only one. Let's bear that in mind. It was only one that's leaking. It wasn't as if all 4 that was leaking. So it's not as if the way I did it is completely and utterly wrong. It's just, like I said, I've just found it easier, and I'm most probably gonna, thinking about it, I'm most probably gonna do it again, just put them on there. It's just the way I found it easier in the past. I'll give it a quick try this way. Right, I think I've done it. What I've done slightly different this time is I tried to put it all even last time, because again, that's just the way I found it in the past, is the easiest way to do it. If you try and push this end or this end in first, they tend to get a bit screw whiffy. But what I did with this one is I actually pushed down the front first, and I heard a good clunk and a good clunk, and the 2 bolts lined up at the back perfectly. And I didn't put any bolts in the front at all. Now I've just rested that bolt in there, but you see it's not even tight. And these are screwing in by hand, which is brilliant. So what I'm going to do is I'll just put the camera at the back now. We'll see. Yeah, that definitely. Oh, does it though? Is that part of the seal there? So hard to tell. Number 3. I mean, it's hard to say. Is that part, or is that just the way it's done? All I can do is screw this down again and do the old brake clean test. So let me do that and thinking. But like I said, I'm doing this and I'm being honest. So if you come across this job, you know what to do. I've never done one on these before. Done loads on other vehicles, but not on this particular one. And every vehicle does have its own little tweaks, its own little foreballs and stuff like that. So it's just handy to know. And like I said, I could have lied and done it, but you don't get an honest video then. And at least when you're doing it yourself, these are the issues you're going to come across when you're doing it yourself. And if you come across this issue, you can do it the other way. Well, you just do it the other way first if this is going to fix it, and then you don't have the issue at all. Boom. Right, put some more fuel in it, taking it for a drive. I'm not going to lie to you, I had to do it again the 3rd time, but we finally got it to seal, which is brilliant. But yeah, 3 times, what a nightmare, and different one every single time. It can be just a nightmare to seal, but we got it there, and yeah, it's perfect. There's still a bit of work to do on the car. I think there's a broken spring and stuff, but for this video, it's done, which is unbelievable. For the 3rd time. Anyway, that's just the way it goes sometimes. So as always, please like, share, comment and subscribe. Don't forget, links up here, links down below, but most importantly, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.